Hello everyone, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode here at the podcast. Today we have two special guests with us today, and they're going to talk about their organization and the great service that they do provide here for the people of the city of Bridgeport. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Michael A. Jordan.
Tony Harrison.
So where are you guys from? Where did you grow up?
Bridgeport, East End.
Bridgeport as well. Started out in P.T. Barnum and ended up on the east end of Bridgeport as well.
Okay. How was it back then growing up as a kid? Did you guys come from a big family? Did you have a lot of siblings?
Yes, I did. I had 4 siblings and family structure. We hung out and played a lot in Newfield Park. That was our getaway, our oasis. Baseball field, bucket field, played a little minor league baseball. All those good things on the East End, Stratford Avenue. Those were all great things back then.
Well, in my early years, I grew up in P.T. Barnum, and back then the village was the whole family in terms of everybody raised everybody as far as the adults looked after the younger children. He was connected building to building in terms of friendship as far as that was concerned. So it was a big house of love, if you will, but it was the projects. And we just knew we was there for each other.
So what high school did you guys attend?
I went to Warren Harding High School, east side of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
And I went to Bullet Havens, east side of Bridgeport, class of 79.
78, the great class of 78, might I say.
So at the high school, did you guys go on to college or did you just jump into the workforce?
No, I went to college. I played football. They said I was pretty good, so that took me away. Great opportunity to go to college, play ball, travel, have a great time, meet people. Great experience. With our foundation, that's what we're hoping we can do for other young men. Provide opportunities for them to get out and go and experience and explore.
I did not go to college. I went to the military United States Air Force. He undersells his performance as an athlete. He was an all-NBA football player, and back then the NBA was a tough league to compete in, and he was definitely one of the best in terms of my sports career. Basically, I played on the championship team that beat Warren Harding High School, but yet I wasn't that much of a great contributor to the team on the court, but I was definitely a role player in practice and stuff like that.
Was there anything that was impactful during your time away at college that you still apply today?
Well, I had a coach. His name was Dr. John Organ. And, let me back up. I started out at Shaw University on a football scholarship, but they had dropped their program, funding, things like that. So I ended up transferring to Bowie State College in Bowie, Maryland. I picked Bowie because I knew I could possibly start being a running back and all. It was Dr. John Organ. He was a PhD in education, but he was also a football coach. And he used to be a philosopher, so sometimes after practice he would talk and he would say things. And I tried my best to pay attention, but I didn't think I was. But he said something about if you quit now in life, you'll quit later on. And as a young man, you don't quit. You keep it going. And later in life, when things got a little rough, I could hear that echoing in my head. If you quit now, you'll quit later on in life. So I didn't know that I digested all that the coach had to say. But at that time, it was some great words to hear in my life. So Dr. Organ left a very impactful meaning to me.
Okay, so Tony, you went to the armed service, so the same question to you, is there anything that you learned in the service that you still apply today?
In one of my training courses, one of my drill instructors, if you will, he made a comment about accountability. And the statement was, your accountability is not worrying about what another person does. is concerned about what you do. And that has really stuck with me in terms of me meeting the demands of life and not trying to blame somebody else for a situation that I'm in, but hold me up and demand more from me and persevere, if you will. And there's no excuse, going back to what Mike was saying, for quitting. There's no excuse.
Okay, so Michael, when you finished college, what did you do after college?
I ended up in New York City. You know, I always wanted to live in New York. I used to go down to New York. I used to take the train down to 42nd Street. I would walk down to a store to buy something, come back home and swear up and down I was in New York. It was something about New York, and I always wanted to live there. And after college, I got a chance to move to New York. I moved to Brooklyn first, and then I ended up in Manhattan. I worked for Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center for 4.5 years. Then I left there and came back to Connecticut and ended up at Sikorsky Aircraft for the last 36 years. Retiring from there a couple of weeks ago. So New York, which was a dream for me, and coming back home, that wasn't on my radar, but it just happened. But working for Sikorsky is one of the greatest things that I was ever able to do. Great job, great opportunities, great people.
And Tony, after you served your time in the United States Air Force, what did you do?
Well, the reason I got out the service, I was actually a baseball player, and I played some semi-pro basketball, and I was stationed down in Florida, and I had a friend who was a baseball player in college, and he was in the Air Force, and they had a lot of major league tryout camps down in Florida, so I was training with him to get him in shape, and then he said, well, since you're training with me, why don't you go with me? And I ended up having a major league tryout with the Cincinnati Reds, and I really did pretty good at that camp. So it was at the time of whether I had to stay in the military or get out, so I decided to get out to go after my dream, which was to play baseball. And I ended up landing a tryout with the Tidewater Mets AAA Baseball League, and I had a great camp, but to my surprise, and the rest of the people that was in the camp, I didn't get selected. From there, I had further tried to complete my dream, and I met Frank Robinson, the legendary baseball player for the Baltimore Orioles, and he led me to a professional scout. And upon interview by the scout, he told me as far as no matter how great I would be, if talent-wise, because of my age, which I had spent 8 years in the military, that was kind of in a no-win situation in terms of getting the return on their investment in me. So thus, I ended up coming back to Connecticut and start living a life as a regular person up in the outside the military.
May 25th, 2004, does that day stands out to you?
May 25th. That was the day that my brother was shot at Newfield Park, Bridgeport, Connecticut, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the day my whole life changed. Tough day, very tough day. It means a great deal to me. I was able to come back a year later and do something in Buddy's honor, going back to the scene of the crime, wanting to turn a negative into a positive, and creating a very festive weekend, Memorial Day, 2005.
I personally didn't know Bernard, but I've heard nothing but great things about him and the work he did here in the community. And based on the things you said, it seems fitting to continue his legacy, which is the reason that we're here today doing this interview. How did you guys decide to carry on the work he was doing here in the community?
Well, for me and my family, we were blown away by the love and support that the family got when Bud passed. So many people came to my sister's house that it was unbelievable. I have siblings from down south. They came up. They couldn't believe the amount of people that was coming by to see the family and showing respect for Buddy. And then the funeral, where the line was around the corner, that kind of blew me away. And once we got inside and all the activities that took place, it was so emotional for me that I wanted to do something, and I wanted to just say thank you to the people. And we created the Buddy Jordan Memorial Weekend. Me, Jeff Baldwin, family members, Big L, we all came together and just put this weekend activities together, and that started the Buddy Jordan Memorial Weekend.
So let's talk about the wonderful program the foundation has, which you guys have several programs from mentorship, scholarships, and field trips. So let's get into these great programs. The Brother Table and Sister Circle is a mentorship program. Let's talk about that.
Well, it was key to understand that in terms of Buddy's work in the community, he was always reaching out for younger kids and trying to empower them and make sure that they took the right step. But even more greater than that, Buddy had this magnetic smile about him that he was always trying to, or releasing to the community. And one of the things that we wanted to keep alive was that magnetic energy that he had regarding his smile, and also empowering kids to let them know that there was a way to reach beyond them circumstances. So the activities or the programs that we created was, number one, to let them know, and which he did for myself, take on a person and sponsor them and help develop them, and which my friendship started from on the basketball court, and that's what he did for me. And yet we use these programs to create that type of platform of relationship building.
In 2022, the foundation gave out over 10 scholarships for kids who went on to the University of Connecticut, Howard University, all the way down to the University of Miami. Can you talk about the scholarship program that you guys do offer?
Yes. In the early days, we sponsored scholarships. I always thought that was a great opponent to be able to give out scholarships to seniors. At that time, we just focused on Herndon High School basketball players. I was able to give out maybe 3 or 4, not many. And then, so it kind of died down a little bit. Then we had an opportunity last year to give out some scholarships, and 10 very talented people came forward, and we were able to give out 10 scholarships, which was very refreshing. I felt good about that. I knew that we were touching a life, changing a life, and helping someone live out their dream. We had a young lady that wrote us a letter that was very impressive, brought a tear to my eye. She kept thanking the organization for giving her the scholarship. First person in her family to go to college. So it's things like that. That's why you do scholarships, because you never know who you're touching or whose life you're going to change.
So let's talk about the field trips. I think that this is a really great program that you guys do offer.
Well, the trips is a great dynamic to show a person that there's life more than what they see within their own common area, and that if they reach out and branch out, that they could belong in these spaces that we're taking them to. And that's one of the things that we want them to know, that not only are they able to go to these places, but enjoy themselves and identify themselves in these places. And more so, they represent Bridgeport. As I like to say, Bridgeport got game. So when they find themselves in these areas or these new arenas, and they've been exposed to that at a younger age, they understand that there's no limitation to what they can do, but the sky is the limit. So that's one of the reasons we have these events outside of our common area.
Yeah, I like to comment on that. It's also a great family bonding time.
Yes, it is.
Because the parents will come, they'll be the chaperones for their kids. We provide the transportation, and they can bond with their kid. Like the DC trip that's coming up, we get to spend the night, so I think it's a great weekend to go away for a day and a half and to be with your child or your children and somewhere outside of Bridgeport, beautiful place like DC. So yeah, the family bonding is a great component to what we do.
I also see that the foundation is in the process of launching 2 new programs, a performing arts program and also a youth in charge entrepreneurship training program. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, the performance program, we've actually jumped that off already. We had a group of kids we took out to California and had a workshop seminar out there with professional writers, actors, and other types of skilled workers in the industry to allow them to see what their skill sets that these kids had, how it compared to the industry itself in the professional workspace. So that was a great eye-opening experience for these kids, and it gave them opportunities that this could be me. And the people who were basically facilitating these workshops were people like them years ago. In terms of we have another program, financial literacy workshop that's coming up, or program. You want to speak on that, Mike?
Yeah, we just want to, first of all, I just want to piggyback off what he said about the California trip. I've been exposed to California from a different perspective. I have friends that work in the industry, so I was able to be inside and see and witness what was going on, and that was mind-boggling to me. And it was also very exciting for me. I'm a grown man. And where I thought that said, man, if we could just bring some kids out at an early age so they could see this, touch it, feel it, taste it, no telling what it would do for them. So the trip we did last year was very, very touching and meant a great deal to me to take those kids out to California.
Hollywood at that.
Hollywood, yeah. And we also have one of our friends, associates, she's out in Hollywood. She helped spearheaded the whole thing. It was nothing but love. And the great thing about that was the kids' first time on an airplane, first time going to California. There was a lot of firsts, and we were able to do that. And exposure is nothing like it. You know, through books, but travel is awesome.
And why don't you name drop who the person who coordinated this?
Name drop?
Yeah, the Bridgeport native.
Oh, that's Raynell Swelling from the North End, and her mother, Nita Swelling, great friend of mine, and Notre Dame alum, Raynell. Yeah.
Besides picking up where Bernard left off, for you guys, what's the gratification to continue to do this great work?
Wow. Personally, Bernard Jordan was a hero to me. In terms of as a kid, he saw somebody who was an introvert and said, "Yo, let's hang out and let's play basketball together." But I don't think he was only a hero to me. He was a hero to a lot of people. And so what we're able to do, we're able to transfer that dynamic of his being as being a hero and then provide these programs and these extracurricular activities to individuals to make their life more fuller. And the bottom line to everything I like to do or am associated with the Buddy Jordan program is emblazoning a smile. If we can make people, kids, parents, anyone smile like he used to make us smile, we have extended the life of Buddy Jordan.
Right. Well, I think after 20 years of doing this, in the beginning it was, I don't say it was tough, but we would draft a letter and ask for donations. I would work overtime and just made it happen. I was out there on love. I was out there on, I wanted to turn negative into a positive. It meant a great deal to me to honor my brother in that way. But I was moved by the people, from the stories and all the things that they were saying about my brother, that I wanted to do some great things in his honor. One of the things that Buddy did was a turkey. The turkeys he used to give away, I had no clue about that till one day he was kind of arguing about the people doing the turkeys, the people that have jobs are taking the turkeys. That's not right. You got families that don't have the turkeys, this and that. So he was very upset. So I wanted to keep that going, and we have kept that going. I don't know, we must have given away 700 turkeys, and the journey that we've been on the last 20 years, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the basketball tournament is not as full as I would want it to be, but if you got 10 teams, you got that's what's that, 50 kids? No, that's 100 kids, right?
Right.
And then if they bring a family member, that's 300 kids. That was a way to fill the park up, with kids. And then the family come, and then you look up, you got a couple of hundred people enjoying the festivities. Everything was free.
Hot dogs, hamburgers.
Healthcare awareness, all kind of information. Just wanted to make it festive, and I think we did that. But I was scared to become a 501c3. I knew I didn't have the knowledge to do that in the beginning, but God steered me in the right way, connected me with the proper people, and we made it happen. And we got our first grant, $25,000, and I thought that was $1 million. Did a lot, created some programs. We're still here. There's another program that's very dear to my heart. That's the therapy, yoga meditation program, because I needed therapy. I didn't know where to go. Talked to Tony and this one and that one, but you need professional help. I just didn't know where to go. Now, there's more emphasis on trauma therapy, things like that, but 20 years ago it wasn't. So we created that program, and our program is still going. 8 years later, we used to be in-house, but COVID shut that down, and then from that we started doing a Zoom program. And to be honest with you, man, we're across the country. We have people in California, Texas, New York, Florida, Georgia. It's unbelievable. And that's another program that is very dear to my heart.
Make sure you shout out Jeff and Booney and
Jeff,
Tosh in regards to help facilitating administrative.
Yeah, it takes a village. Jeff Baldwin, Mega Base Productions. Like I said, Big L's Kitchen, my daughter and my ex-wife at the time going to Florida and putting the programs together, bringing them back, say, okay, Pops, this is what we got, and going with those things. My kids are enormous. They help a great deal on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
They sit on the board. So,
Tasha.
Tasha, executive director, great young lady. She helps out. She does all the things that I can't do, or Tony. So thank God for her.
Yes.
Is there any words of advice or words of encouragement for the youth?
Yes. Daily, these kids are faced with choices that are critical steps in their life, and they have to know, and there have to be resources out there that's going to help them make the right choice. That's our purpose, helping them make the right choice. So a bad choice won't be the final statement to their life. In our situation, a bad situation happened, but thanks to the vision of Michael Jordan himself and the love that he has for his brother and his compassion to spread love, that bad decision or that bad act was not the last statement regarding Buddy Jordan.
Yeah, well, Tony, that's the thing. Taking a negative and turning it into a positive. Look where we are.
Yeah.
We're 20 years. Next year is a 20-year anniversary. We didn't have the event this year because I just want to get everything together for next year. Hopefully we'll put on something.
Be a party.
Put something on real nice, and being able to become a 501c, being able to mentor young men in the school system. Those things are awesome. I didn't have that vision. I just had a weekend vision, and to still be here, still growing, still getting funding, and still working with other great nonprofits and organizations, great people, and we truly appreciate this interview. Thank you very much, Mr. Edie, for the opportunity to express ourselves. and the love we have for the Buddy Jordan Foundation.
We also like to make a shout out to Senator Moore, who has been
Senator Moore.
quite influential supporter in our endeavors to keep the vision of Buddy Jordan alive.
Senator Moore.
And how can people support you in terms of volunteering and donation, and how can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. We're on, what's the other thing? Facebook and what's the other thing? Instagram, right?
I know you're asking me.
Tell them our age, man. But it's all right. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram. We have a newsletter that goes out to like 500 people.
Yes.
And I know that the newsletter may get sent out because our last 2 trips, we had over 125 people sign up to join the group. And you have to be affiliated with us somehow, some way. You know one of us, something, you know.
But donations are accepted through our website.
I'm sure the donation button works on the website. You hit it, you can do something, 25, 10, 15, whatever.
Just tap it.
100, yeah, whatever you can give us, we'll take it. We need it. Keep hope alive.
All right, fellas, I'd like to thank you both for taking time out your busy schedule to come on my platform and talk about the great organization that you guys are a part of.
And we want to take time out to thank you for bringing us to light and other organizations to light, and that your endeavor continue to grow, and let us support you any way that we can as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shout out to the brothers at Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. 6 Deuce.